listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited to be back with you guys. I just came back from a 3-week trip in Africa. Jen and I went to Egypt for about a week. We got to see the pyramids. We went to Luxor as well after Cairo and Gaza. And then we got to go into some tombs. We got incredible, what are they called? Egyptiologists that famous ones that found 200 different pieces just from digging of ancient Egyptian artifacts and so forth. So it was pretty cool. Some of those are all in the museums that he got to show us. It was pretty cool, some famous guy. But anyway, we got to experience a lot of good food, a lot of good culture, busyness, got to get inspired by seeing just how blessed we are here in America. Even me growing up American poor, okay? I don't want to sugarcoat it, poor. Still extremely, and when I say extremely, I mean above and beyond rich. That's how blessed we are in comparison to so many other countries out there. You get to see other countries, their homes look like it was straight up a bomb went off. It looks like it was a war zone. It's really incredible. Some are shacks. The roofs aren't fully complete. It just looks wild, seeing different cultures, seeing different driving, everything, seeing people hungry, all types of things. And so it was super incredible. I was super grateful for the experience. We got to go to Kenya and get to go into 2 safaris. Had amazing, picking us up at the airports, taking us through everything, dropping us off, taking care of baggage, flights, all these things. It was an incredible experience, super blessed, super favored, and just what an incredible time. This trip was something that I've wanted to go on since I was a young kid in school when I started learning about the pyramids, right? And then the Africa safari trip is just something that I've seen other people the last couple years go on, friends of mine, and I had FOMO and I was like, well, I want to do that too. That looks awesome. Got to see lions, got to see zebras and giraffes and lions kill a giraffe, wow stuff. We got to sleep in tents, luxurious tents, by the way, and just get catered the whole time. And this was actually our honeymoon for Jen and I, even though we got married back in October 12th, 2024, and it's a year and a half later. This was something that we kept on not prioritizing. We kept on postponing and pushing off because we had an event that we were planning right when we came back from our wedding. And then after that, we had business. And then after that, we postponed it longer and longer and longer. And it was just getting away from us. And we were like, hey, I just said enough is enough. I have to stop. No matter what, I have to prioritize this. I have to honor my wife, and we have to do this. And I couldn't be more grateful for that time and experience, and just to get to relax and be with her and be present. And I'm telling you, what an incredible experience. And I'm just so revved up. I'm pumped up to be back home, have some good friends and food, and just back to making a difference and impact and purpose and doing our mission here, and super blessed for it. So I'm not going to share too much more about this trip. Maybe another episode I will, every Thursday we have our Ask Me Anything. So I have a lot to say on the trip. It was incredible, and I could go on and on and on, but I'll either save it for another podcast or Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come on that, ask me anything, and I'd be happy to share more in details and the adventures and all the other things if you guys want to hear about it. Otherwise, what I would love to cover today is really how to get the average normal person, aka you, me, to be able to show you how to really create leverage in a confusing, wild market. Right now interest rates are high. They've been high, right? Everybody's wished, prayed, hoped, been gassed up, thought that it was going to drop lower and lower, and the truth is it hasn't. And so the market in certain areas has been crashing and been struggling, and people are looking at doom's gloom and thinking that there's going to be this huge real estate recession or collapse and all this other stuff. And then AI is replacing all these jobs, right? Everybody's freaking out over that. And it's relevant. It's real, right? People are saying banks aren't lending. People are struggling and feeling like, man, the economy and the banks, and it's getting more difficult. I'm going to talk about banks and lending in just a few minutes. They're saying multifamily is dead, that there's no real deals that are penciling out anymore. So a lot of new real estate investors or investors in general are just freezing up. They're freezing up. They're scared. They don't know how to take action. They don't know what to actually focus on. And I've done episodes on this in the past of how to actually position yourself properly to be able to get deals, right? I've mentioned this numerous times. Anytime that I'm looking for a deal, it always pencils out this way every single time. And people that I've coached dozens of people in real estate specifically. I've coached thousands on credit, but for real estate, I've coached dozens, and every single time, without failure, every single person has been able to get their first or next real estate deal by doing this one simple thing, all within 30 to 90 days. Okay, so if you want to get your next or your first real estate deal within the next 30 to 90 days, then what you're going to want to do is write this down. All right, it's very simple. All you need to do is analyze 3 deals a day minimum and submit offers on 3 deals a day minimum. I don't care how far off. I don't care if it's a low ball offer. I don't care. But you got to analyze and submit 3 offers every single day. You got to play the numbers game. That's what we're talking about. 3 offers every single day. Okay. Within 30 days, you're at 90 already. Okay. That's a big deal. By the time you get to 90 days, if you get that far, which most people do not, you're already at 270 deals that you've analyzed, you've submitted offers on. And the simple truth is this, that when you have relationships like brokers, agents, wholesalers, you go to the local real estate associations, you're doing some marketing, you are letting people know the avatar that you're looking for, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this location, this area, around this price point, and so forth, right? This type of condition, right? That's how you're going to be able to get that avatar when you have a lot of people knowing who you are, what you want, what you're looking for, and how crystal clear you are on that. You're not just looking for anything. Then you're going to start getting those deals to be submitted to you. You analyze at least 3 of them. You submit the offers. If it's a low ball, just justify it. It's got to be justifiable. It can't just be like, hey, you're asking for $1 million. I got $5 on it. Cool. You can offer $5 on it if the numbers pencil out, and that's what you can justify. Well, because of this, and this, and this, that's why I only can give you this much. I hope that makes sense. I am an investor. I am trying to do this for a business. No hard feelings. I'm not trying to offend you. You can deny it. You cannot reply, whatever. I'm here for you to close on this deal at this price if you're serious, because I am. That's as simple as it needs to be. It doesn't need to be more complex than that. But if you do that within 30 to 90 days, mark my words, you will get something in negotiations and then eventually under contract. Point blank period. Every single time. Okay, so I don't care about the market. I don't care about deals not penciling out or whatever other BS that the high interest rates and that the news is telling us and trying to brainwash you. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. I understand that the market is crazy right now. I understand that the market is bloody waters out there. Okay. The simple fact is that there's a lot of people drowning. The economy is hurting. People are getting screwed. People are not knowing how to make more money. People are getting over leveraged. People are making mistakes. It's not all sunshine and rainbow like it used to be several years ago, where you could, fart in the wind and make hundreds of thousands off of a deal. It's not that simple. Okay. So all of those people that it was that simple, and that they would just toss anything anywhere and they were making a boatload of money, everything was winning, those individuals are failing. They're quitting. They're bowing out. And that's why I say right now is actually your best opportunity. If you're brand new, great. If you've done a couple deals before, great. If you're an expert, you're crushing it, and you know this. Because you'll see seasons come and go. You'll see people quietly bow out. You'll see people that are freaking out and they can't handle it. Okay? And if they admit defeat, if they really can't handle it, if they quit before just because of fear or whatever else, because they haven't weathered the storm, then you'll see all these people start moving on to something else. They'll get a different job. They used to be a promoter. They used to be an influencer. They used to be doing real estate. Now they are, they're selling cars or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's okay. It sucks to see, because with the right guidance, mentorship, with the right decision making, the right discernment, and the right persistence without quitting, things come and go. Seasons will come and go. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. The more that you are equipped and positioned and prepared for it, you will overcome it, right? That's the biggest thing to keep in mind. So I hope that if you are listening to this right now, if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking about quitting, if times are extremely tough right now, if things are difficult, if the economy is pushing on you, if you don't know about the next deal, if you're struggling to find the next deal, if the business that you had that was huge and you hired on all these people, if it's crushing you, get rid of the people, get rid of the chaos, the distractions, the extraness, start dialing back and go back to the basics of what worked back then when you were hustling to grind and get this thing up afloat. Focus on the basics, okay? And go deep, and do not quit. There's money to be made out there. There's opportunities out there. And I just want to make sure that you are inspired enough today to know that there's so many others out there that are quitting, that are giving up, that are 3 feet from gold, 3 feet from the market changing, right? Don't listen to all the craziness online and whatever, right? There's deals out there to be made. There's still people trying to live and have a roof over their head and so forth. So doesn't mean that there's not incredible opportunity. Doesn't mean that it's not difficult. It can extremely be, but with the right education, the right preparation, you can overcome anything. Okay? Excuse me. So most investors still just don't understand funding. They don't understand positioning, liquidity, how to get access to it, and at the end of the day, how to move fast when opportunity appears. Okay, so that's what I want to cover today. The investors at the end of the day who are going to win here in 2026 won't be the smartest. Okay, let me be very crystal clear. They will not be the smartest. They will be the most funded. Mark my words on that piece of it. They're going to be the most funded, the most prepared and positioned. Okay, the ones that are prepped with funding. Okay, not the smartest, because there's so many people that are extremely smart but over leverage, don't have the liquidity. They have deals. Eventually those deals start passing them by because they can't close on them. Okay, so you start missing out on those opportunities. And so it's a pretty damn good time to understand that the one who has the cash has the closing. I'll say it again. The one that has the cash has the closing. Okay, they always say cash is king. No. Credit is king. Credit will be an 800 FICO score is much, much more sexier than $100,000 cash. Okay, you can get so much more out of an 800 FICO score than $100,000 cash. Okay. I would trade 800 FICO score. I would trade for that more than $1 million cash. Now, the caveat is if you don't know the rules to the game, then the 800 FICO score is irrelevant. And that's the sad truth. Okay. Those out there that only heard that first piece of what I just said, the 800 is worth more than $1 million. If you get stuck on that piece without hearing that second of the 45 different rules to the game, if you don't hear that point, then you're screwed already. All right? Because look, America naturally, nationwide, all believe, and they put the FICO score on this pedestal, put it above and beyond, thinking like, well, that FICO score, that 800 FICO score, that's all I need. That will save me. That will get me the best rates. That will get me the best terms. And you're right, it will. It will get you the best terms. It will get you the best rates. But will it get you approved for everything? See, that's what you believe. That's what a majority of America believes. Hey, with an 800 plus FICO score, there's not one bank out there that's crazy enough to deny me. The answer behind that is you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not the truth. That's not the facts. The facts are that there are bank rules out there. There are bank policies out there. There are bank relationships out there. What you say on these applications, it matters. It truly matters. It's everything, in fact. Your FICO score is only 10 metrics out of the 45. There's still 35 different moving pieces that matter. That's what I'm saying here. That's what you got to pick up and realize. That how long you've been with the bank, how many products and services you're taking advantage of from the bank, what is your internal rating, how much money is going in versus going out over the last 30, 60, 90 days, or even 6 months, for God's sakes. Have you opted into the pre-screening? Are you working with a business bank relationship manager? What are you saying on these applications? How old is your entity? Do you have an entity? What is the entity's name? Is it high risk? Is it low risk? What's the SIC codes, the NAC codes? What is the stated income that you're putting? Do you rent? Do you own? What is that monthly payment? What's your debt to income ratio? You know, like what is the business doing per year? What are you asking for this credit line? The list goes on. Okay. And so if you don't know these things, you will shoot yourself in the foot every single time because the bank rules, all these big banks have bank rules, such as the Chase 2 and 30-day rule, meaning if you've been approved for 2 cards, you will not get a third card with them. When there's a will, there's a way. There's strategy and techniques if you know how to get around that. The average person will not get around that. They have the 5 and 24 rule, meaning if you've been approved for 5 cards with any bank in the last 24 months, that's 2 years, you will automatically get denied with Chase as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if you're in the 850. Bank policy could be, hey, you can apply all day for this bank. You can get a hard inquiry. You can get a hard pull. However, they will automatically deny you if you're out of that region. That's a bank policy. Or a bank policy could be, or a bank rule could be, you're applying for their elite credit card. But if you do not have their elite checking account, then you will not get approved for that card, no matter how great your FICO score is. Okay, we've had members with 840 FICO scores that thought very quick and easy, just brand new, excited in the community, think that they're going to be able to get all their applications approved with an 840 FICO score. They just Rambo through it from other list of people in our community that said, hey, I just got approved for this and this dollar amount and this 100,000 here. Like, they're excited. So they start applying, just rammed them in the wrong order, not thinking about the policies or knowing the bank rules or asking for our guidance. And we are a coaching program, not a course program, right? If it was as simple as everybody just go through reading the back of the box of baking the cake, your cake's going to come out a little bit different than ours. Okay. So it's important to realize that those individuals can get denied if you do not know what you're doing. But those who are prepared and positioned will be able to get the most out of it. Okay. So good deals come to those who are positioned and prepared. That's why those who have funding dialed in this year is going to be set up for success. I promise you that. And I say it like that because so many in the past, and even this might be speaking to you right now, full transparency. There's a lot of individuals out there that look for the deals, look for the great opportunity. When the opportunity comes, it feels like it's the game changer that's going to set you on fire. It's going to make you a billionaire. Like, it's going to change your world. It's going to change your families. Everything's going to be different after this one deal. The problem is you've worked and waited your whole life for this one deal. You get it under contract. Okay? And now you realize, oh, shoot, I got no money. And now you're like, well, now all this pressure, pain, frustration, anxiety, stress, sleepless nights, because you're going into a season of now I need to work my butt off to find the money. Now I need to find these partners. They always say if you get an incredible deal, money will come. Money will come if you have an incredible experience and if you know how to market that you have this incredible deal under contract. It will. Okay. But if you don't know those things because you're beginning, you're new, you could have a deal under contract. But if you don't know how to market it properly, if you don't have connections and resources, if you don't have the experience, then nobody's really going to believe and trust you. The know, like, and trust factor is real. Okay. Think of it like this. If you get in front of 1 million people, that's 1 million people that now know you. Okay. If you get in front of 1 million people that know you, you're not going to get everybody to like you. Okay, maybe 100,000 of them like you out of that million. And then out of that 100,000, you get 10,000 of those people to trust you. Okay, out of that million people, it's the know, like, and trust. 1 million, 100,000, 10,000. Now you got 10,000 people that know, like, and trust you, and that could potentially become clients or partners. You know what I'm saying? So that's marketing. That's your funnel you got to consider. At the end of the day, if you only market to 5 people, 20 people, 50 people, and that's a stretch to you, understand your funnel. You're not in front of 1 million people. You're in front of 20. So, you know what I'm saying? The know, like, and trust factor. Are you even getting in front of people that have funds, are qualified, are in a good position, care about real estate, care about that thing that you're promoting? Maybe you don't know how to pitch it properly. Maybe they don't feel comfortable and confident in you. Maybe that's a lot of money to them. Maybe it's little money to them. Maybe they just don't trust that deal. Maybe they're busy in something else. You know what I'm saying? That's why the know, like, and trust factor, that funnel, it's so critical. And you got to get in front of as many people as possible. You got to practice. You got to dial in all these things. So if you're new, it's going to be very difficult for that piece. That's why I don't like to rely on OPM. That's other people's money. I just don't. I don't believe in it. It feels good as an experienced real estate investor to utilize OPM. Why? Because you're helping out mom and pops that for no other reason they wouldn't be able to make a good retirement and a safe retirement on their own. They would be screwed. Okay. So giving them the opportunity to invest with us, to experience real estate, to be labeled as their real estate investor now too. They're a bank investing with us, getting to experience it, getting a strong, safe return. That's incredible, right? And that can feel good. Okay. That can feel good when you're in that position. But the sleepless nights, when you borrow money from grandma and the whole family is looking at you like, hey, grandma's nice enough to help you out as a brand new investor, but that's her retirement, dude. Like, don't mess that up. Everybody's frustrated and mad and, scared and anxiety, and Thanksgiving comes around and Uncle John's looking at you like, hey, dude, where's my money? You haven't been communicating properly. I want to know where's my money? Like, all those things, like, that doesn't feel good, right? And so instead of using OPM, other people's money, I truly believe in OBM, other banks' money. When you lean on other banks' money, see, it's exactly what the rich do. It's exactly what the billionaires do. It's what the banks do to us. See, the billionaires, they leverage banks. They're not taking payroll. They're taking stocks. And then That's how they take their pay. And then they go to the banks and they take loans out against it. They take out debt against it. So they have tax write-offs. They get the most affordable rates, like 1%, because they have huge, amazing companies that the banks would love for them to default on. They won't ever. They leverage a small amount, and then they get all these tax write-offs. And they don't have any income that they're taking, so they're good. They're not paying any taxes. And the banks, what they do to us is they leverage our money. Like, we give all of our money to these banks. We give it to them at 0% interest. They gave you what last year? 0.001%. If you're lucky, you got nothing. You gave all your money to the banks. That's where you paid all your bills. That's where you had your savings. And then what? They gave you nothing back for it. But they did lend out money to you and I. They lent out that money that we gave to them tenfold to us. I went to the banks a couple months ago. They've gotten more strict than they did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, I went to go take out 20,000 about a month ago. And they said the most I could take out is 5,000. It's like 5,000. I have a lot of those 5,000s in this bank account with you guys right now. And I've had that there for a very long time. And I've been with you guys for a very long time. I want more than just one of those 5,000s. I want a few of them. I just want a couple. It's my friggin' money. They're like, well, we can write you a check, sir. Or I don't want a check. I want clear cash money right now. So I had to go to 4 different banks to try to get my $20,000 in cash. Crazy. Okay, when I had more than enough in there, more than enough, okay, for a long time. And I have great relationships there. They said, whoa, sir, did you call in and request this several weeks in advance? Several weeks in advance? That you didn't ask for me when I dropped off a couple $100,000 in the bank. You didn't ask for me to come, give me a couple weeks before you bring all this money to us, Brandon, to open this account. No, you didn't do that. But you're asking for it now. So understand this, like, the banks put the money to work tenfold on personal loans, auto loans, mortgages, student loans, retail cards, regular cards, business cards. You see where I'm going. So they lend it back out to us tenfold. They average 500 to 3,000%, not little change, but 500 to 3,000%. That's how they make money. Banks are smart. Banks need to lend to us. That's the business they're in. If they don't lend, they go out of business. But they're no dummies. They know how to make money, all right? They make money off of the credit card transactions. They make money on the startup fees, the setup fees, the originations, the overdraft for so many uneducated individuals out there. Again, guys, this wasn't taught in school. This wasn't taught at the dinner table, but success leaves clues. Money leaves a trail. So focus on what the rich and what the mega billionaires are doing. Focus on what the banks are doing. The biggest asset that is on the bank's profile, like their asset, their P&Ls, is life insurance. Success leaves clues. Money leaves a trail. Focus on that stuff. Because it wasn't taught at school or at the dinner table, just like it wasn't for me, doesn't mean that it's your fault. It's not. But it is your problem. So you're going to want to solve this problem, right? It's very critical. It's crucial. Because if you don't solve the problem, then you stay the problem. You stay screwed. Okay? So get prepared, because when you are prepared, you start flipping the script on these banks, and you start actually, like, you can get this introductory funding from these banks anywhere from 0% interest for 6 months to 24 months, on average 18 months. But when you do this, check it out. You get the money first, okay? You get liquid first. Once you get all of this funding, once you have this and you turn it into cash money that you can use, then check this out. This gives you a peace that surpasses all understanding, okay? This is like some heavenly stuff. Why? Because now you were prepped, you're prepared, and you're positioned that when the right deal comes around on your desk, and you don't need to use any of this funding, by the way. Don't touch it. Don't use it. But if it costs you zero, if it costs you nothing, any moron can make a return off of it. Let's be very crystal clear. You can put it into a CD, for God's sakes. You can put it into a liquid money market account, which I recommend. You could get one at US Bank. A lot of banks offer it. A liquid money marketing account where you make 4.5%, 5% on, but it's like a savings account. You can move it around all over. As it sits in there, you make money off of it. Not bad. If it costs you 0, you can make that 5%. Great, right? It's still liquid and you can move it around. Okay. When the right deal comes around though, guess what you can do? You can beat out the competition. I've done this numerous times. 20 other offers on there. I'll beat it out every single time, guaranteed. Why? Because I'm with peace. The money is not the issue. They're all scrambling around trying to figure out the money. They're trying to figure out if this is a good deal and if they're going to qualify and get the money to be able to make it happen. Okay, they're stressing out too much. All I need to worry about is I got the money. I'm good on that side. That's done. That's the easy stuff. That's usually the hardest thing for most people. That's the easiest for us. Okay, once I have the money, then I'm just worrying, is this a good deal? After you see enough deals and you view enough properties, you know when a home run comes around. Okay, so now when it comes around, boom, I'm locked in. I know I'm taking it. I know I'm going to get it. Done deal. Now I just need to solve their problem. When somebody's listing a property or selling a property, what is their one and only concern? Their one and only concern is, whoever I pick, will they close? Will I get my money? Will there be headache and will there be problems throughout the process? Okay. And those problems could mean all types of different things. Are they going to sue me later? Are they going to nickel and dime me? Are they going to start off high and then lowball me later? All types of things, right? So solve their problems. Like, know those things. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. There's 20 other offers that are available, but guess what? What's the highest likelihood of the highest earnest money deposit? Probably pretty low. 5, 10 grand, 20 grand maybe for a couple of them, right? And I'm just saying rough examples. You do the math, you know your market, you know your area. I'm talking about here in San Diego. Usually people are putting 5 to 10 grand down. Out of those, maybe 20, maybe 15 of them are doing that. Maybe you got 2 or 3 of them that are putting 20 grand down. Okay. You know the best way to be able to beat out all the competition? Put as much as you can down for the earnest money deposit. You could put 50,000 down. You could put 100,000 down. You could put the whole contract down. Put 500,000 down, $1 million down for the earnest money deposit. That would scare the hell out of them. They're going to be shocked. They're going to be like, number one, I've never seen this in my life. Number two, they're going to check in with the professionals around them, escrow. They're going to check with insurance. They're going to check with the agents. They're going to be like the brokers. They're going to be like, who the hell puts the full asking, dollar amount down in earnest money deposit? That's crazy. That's bonkers. I've never heard of that. That brings so much confidence to the deal. Saying, hey, and then you put, I'm going to close no contingencies. I'll go hard on the earnest money deposit right away. And I close in 5 to 7 days as soon as escrow can get finished and cleaned up and good to go. That removes all fear. That removes all frustration. It removes all headache. It shows how confident you are. Like, hey, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm closing on this deal. You can, and if I don't, in 5 days, you can go back to any of the other 20 offers that are on the table. But those guys are going to take 30 days. Those guys are going to ask for a bunch of contingencies. Those guys are going to need financing. Those guys are putting 5 grand down. It's a little different. I'm doing all cash, no contingencies, close in 5 days, and I'll give you the whole earnest money deposits, the full asking price. What this allows you to do is bring so much peace and confidence to them that you can get straight to the meat and potatoes. I've been able to get hundreds, and I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars off. Not hundreds of doll hairs or like little like peanuts. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars off the asking price, when others have offered hundreds of thousands more, but they needed 45, 60 days. Another thing is you can get the agent to double end it. When you get the agent to represent you, they double their commissions. Now you got the agent in your pocket being your best friend because they want to double their commissions. They're definitely rooting for you with the seller. They're definitely fighting on your behalf saying, well, who else does this? These other guys, yeah, it's a couple $100 grand more and he's asking for a couple $100 grand less. I know that's a big delta. That's a big gap, but that's a made up number to these guys. they're probably going to come in, start off high. They have 60 days to close. They have all these contingencies. They're probably going to, cancel. They're probably going to fall out of escrow. They're probably going to ask for money off. They probably can't perform, it's not even a realistic or legitimate comparison against this offer that's going to close in a couple days, that's putting the whole amount down, that has no contingencies, like that has experience. That's how you win some incredible deals. Okay. But you gotta be prepared. You gotta have the cash first before you get the deal. Okay. And the cash can be the credit. And then you gotta be prepared and know how to liquidate the credit into cash so that you can have confidence and peace. Okay. See, business credit matters so much more than cash. Okay. Why? Because cash is only going to be so much. It's only going to be so much. There's a certain dollar amount that's it. No more. Once you use that, you're tapped out. That's it. Right. So why not use your cash as a backup plan? Now, hear me out. Use your cash as a backup plan, meaning use your credit as number one, as your first plan, your plan A. Use your cash saved up as plan B. Okay, you use your credit because you have 0% interest for 6 to 24 months, on average 15 or 18 months. That gives you plenty of time to be able to buy a deal, remodel a deal. You could do private money lending, hard money lending. You could refinance the property. You could sell the property. Like, we've been able to make 500 grand in 90 days. I've been able in 6 months to make $1 million in equity. I've been able to do private money loans, hard money loans. I've been able to start businesses, grow businesses, scale businesses, marketing, you name it. When there's a will, there's a way. This isn't something that you're going to buy like a 30-year fixed, mortgage, and you need a down payment of something that isn't cash flowing. Like you are literally getting into a deal that's going to get you out of a deal, or at least get your money back plus some in a short period of time before that 0% interest is up. That gives you opportunity. It gives you positioning. It gives you freedom. It gives you time freedom and financial freedom. And then worst case scenario, number one, is every 6 months you can get more funding. You can get up to another $500,000 per person every 6 months. If you do it now, great. 3 months later, your significant other does it, or your business partner, or your kids. 3 months later, right? After that, 3 months after that, it's 6 months has passed from your initial. So now you can do it again, and vice versa, You know what I'm saying? And the history repeats. You can literally get up to another 500,000 with rates as low as 0%, getting the highest limits, the best terms and conditions, and up to 90% approval odds every single time you do this. So by the time your first application sequence, when that 0% interest is up at 18 months, you've already done this 2 additional other times. So 3 times in total, getting millions of dollars in funding. And then now you can move the money around. Okay. But worst case scenario, worst case is you literally, if the deal doesn't go well, if you can't get more funding, if whatever takes place, then you have your cash as a backup plan, right? And also, we'll teach you how to fix credit. So not too bad of a gig, right? We've had people in $1 million plus in debt, or $285,000 in debt, be able to move money around. The other $1 million plus that was in debt was $1.4 million, be able to delete it all off. Pretty wild stuff without having to file bankruptcy or any of that other nonsense, right? So there's wild things that can be done, wild things, but you got to be positioned. You got to be prepared, right? Use your cash as a backup plan. Use your business credit first and foremost. Know how to liquidate cards into cash. And don't use your own merchant account. So many people do that. I talked to somebody the other day, and he's been doing it for 2 years, small dollar amounts with his own merchant account, with his own credit cards. And he's literally getting his accounts blacklisted, his credit card shut down. He's not able to open up any other merchant accounts. He can't take any other merchant, like any other new payments from anybody for any type of business for the rest of his life. He is screwed on business because everybody uses credit cards. So all because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he's you're gambling. The lack of education will haunt you and hurt you. Don't be silly, right? right? It comes down to the ignorance is bliss until you find yourself in like backed into a corner from the choices that you've made. Doing it on your own, being cheap, you will pay for it. Okay? Price is what you pay, value is what you get. At the end of the day, you go the cheap route, you get hurt desperately. Like you're already paying for this one way or another. It will cost you so much money banging your head against the wall when you could have been taking the elevator approach. You didn't need to take the stairs and with an avalanche coming down of rocks in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll always be taking multiple steps back. Okay? So there is a new economy coming right now, right? Access to capital is going to be the individuals who win at the end of the day. Okay. Rich people move fast because they are funded. That's just it. Rich people move fast because they are funded. So you can call me rich. You can call anybody rich that is moving quick, but rich is all just a made up BS number. It's just, do you have capital to get the investments or not? Are you trustworthy? Do you have the cash? Do banks trust you with money? You don't need to be rich. You don't need to have some great paying job. You could still keep your dead end broke ass job. You can. I did for the first until I had 10 income producing properties that made me $10,000 a month. I surpassed the dollar amount that I was making in restaurants as a busser and as a server after my second property. And I kept working for 2 additional years and stacked up more properties until I was over 3 or 4 times the amount of how much I was making per month, every month from real estate. Then it was like, all right, then I got fired just because I was focused more on the real estate business versus the working for somebody else, and they could see it. And, and I was already, my heart was in real estate, but I couldn't quit. I'm not a quitter. Okay. But when you have funds accessible, it makes you look like you're rich because you can move quick. You can have discernment. The biggest obstacle, the biggest fear, the biggest frustration, the biggest risk, aka the money piece, that's the easiest part. That's done. That's it. That's not the problem. It's finding a great deal and then knowing the communication and excellence of negotiating and following through and solving problems. But I just told you how I do it. I just told you how rich people do it. Okay. But there's plenty of books. There's plenty of podcasts. There's plenty of other excellence out there to learn those things. And it's very common sense of just put yourself in the other person's shoes. And if you don't know, then ask them, what is your biggest fear? What's your biggest frustration? How can I solve all your problems? What problems do you have? I know you're trying to sell this property, but what's going through your mind? If I could make this perfect for you, what would this look like? It's that simple. We're just dealing with humans at the end of the day. Excuse me. If you want help getting positioned before these opportunities hit, I want you to book a call with our team here at Credit Counsel Elite. If you realize that there's opportunities that are passing you by, if you can't find the deals, if you can't find the strategy, if finances are getting crazy, if you've made poor decisions in the past, that's okay. Okay? Who we primarily help are individuals that are above 700 FICO score, that are making over $100,000 annually, who have a business or looking to grow and scale a business, that have opportunities that are right in front of them. And if you don't have opportunities, that's okay. That's okay. We have opportunities for you. We're doing ground up construction right now. It costs $300 a square foot to build, but it's worth $900 a square foot afterwards. It's excellent. It's pretty badass. Okay. You can participate in that if you are an active member within our community for real estate, for Credit Counsel Elite. Okay. So if you are in a position that you're like, hey, Brandon, I want to, like, I have some funds saved up, right? I have 15, 20, 30, 50 grand. Great. But you realize you're going to need more. And number 2 is after listening to this, you realize I don't want to use my own cash. I want to use credit, not OPM, not other people's money. Other people could be you as well. Don't use your own money. Use OBM, other banks' money. You want to use other banks' money because it's out there. It's available. We live in America. They give out so much funding out here. Okay? Don't quit. Don't give up 3 feet from gold. This is a season that you can walk into with excellence. But it's going to take education. It's going to take preparation. And so what we're doing right now is literally you can book a strategy call with me directly. I'd be honored to sit down with you directly. Okay, if you listen to this podcast, then all you got to do is just let our team know, hey, podcast. Just say podcast. We'll take care of you. Okay, just let us know. But make sure you subscribe. All right, subscribe to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast so that you get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave that 5-star afterwards. But if you are serious behind this and you want to jump on a one-on-one call with me, if you're making over $100,000 per year and you have a 700 plus FICO score and you're saying, Brandon, I know that something that you're saying here makes sense. I want to use OBM, other banks' money, not OPM. I don't want to use my own savings anymore. I want to actually position myself so that I don't need to take down one deal. I can take down 5, 10 deals, right? I have this backup plan. I realize that learning this financial stuff that should have been taught in school, should have been taught at the dinner table. It wasn't, not my fault, not your fault, but it is my problem. It's time to solve this problem. I need to get this piece of it because when I learned this piece of it, how to talk to the banks, how to get them to say yes 9 out of 10 times, how to get the highest limits possible, how to get the best terms and conditions, how to get 0% interest anywhere from 6 to 24 months, and how to repeat it every 6 months per person, what that can do for you, your family, your future, your finances, for so much more. Just imagine what the next 6 to 12 months could look like. Life could be completely different, just like it was for me. When I started actually using smart capital, 0% interest capital from the banks, when I started using that, because I didn't have money, I didn't have anything. I had 30,000 saved up. I think 35,000 saved up. I used it to build bank relationships. I used it as a backup plan just in case, but I used credit first and foremost. And I bought real estate. I renovated real estate. I rented it out to well-qualified tenants. I refinanced it. I got all my money back 6 to 12 months later. And then once it was cash flowing, I had no money into it. I was like, man, this is crazy. I did it again. And then I did it again and I did it again. And now with what I've learned over the years, I know that like I'm nobody special. I'm nothing crazy. I'm nothing great. I'm nothing exceptional. I'm just somebody that took action. I failed forward. I didn't take no for an answer. I didn't quit. I realized if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. And if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you too. Okay, real estate can change your life. Even every single person nationwide should have 1 to 4 properties. I recommend multifamily as well. Duplex to fourplex. If you have 1 to 4 of those duplex to fourplex, you will have the cash flow, you'll have the appreciation, you'll have the tax write-off, the depreciation. Like your retirement will be incredible. Okay? You will be taken care of. You will diversify all your eggs, not in one basket, relying on your job or your employer, even if you love them. Love them or hate them. I've had too many good conversations with good people that have put all their eggs in one basket, betting on some dream job, come to find out that AI is replacing them this year. Or come to find out that their boss made some mistakes and they're all getting laid off. Or right before retirement, they're all getting screwed. They're not going to make as much as they thought. Their retirement's going to be completely different. They need to find another job, another job that's not going to be fulfilling. They're missing out on all their goals, dreams. They want to be with family. They want to travel the world. They waited their whole lives to travel the world when in fact they don't even want to travel now. They're tired. They're beat up. They're sore. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. So if you're serious about transforming your life to get more time freedom and financial freedom, then this is your chance. This is it. Do not wait any longer. We're not promised tomorrow. I promise you that. Okay? Do not wait any longer. Literally just book a call directly with us and you can go to creditcounselelite.com. That's or just go to our Instagram page. That's Credit Counsel Elite. In the bio, number one, follow us there. But in the bio, you can book a call through our team, or DM me and say like podcast. And I would be honored to hook you up with a strategy call, figure out where you're currently at. What are you dealing with? What are you struggling with? What's your situation? Where are you looking to go? Right. And I'll give you a roadmap and show you how realistic it is. I'll show you what it's going to take. I'll give you the blueprint on how we're going to get there. I'll show you what it looks like to work with us to get there, or how you can do it on your own, or how you can be connected with one of our resources to be able to help you, right? It doesn't all cost $1 billion. It doesn't all cost a bunch of money, but understand this, it is something that you are already paying for, and you might not notice it. You might be like paying some interest rates to these credit cards. You might be paying interest on credit cards, but it doesn't feel like much, but it is something. It adds up. You just don't notice it. Okay. Or you're getting denied from banks, or you're missing out on opportunities, or your interest rates aren't, if your FICO score isn't 760 to 780 range or above, you're paying a premium. You might not see it, but there's underlying additional fees that you're paying. And if it's on a long-term loan, it is adding up to tens to even hundreds of thousands in some cases. You're paying for it one way or another. So don't sleep on that. The lack of education, the ignorance behind that, that's not an excuse. That's not a good reason, especially after listening and being aware of it. Okay. We're bringing you to the light here. All right. So I just want to encourage you that no matter what the market is telling you, the high interest rates, the market's crashing, AI is replacing jobs, banks aren't lending, it's bullshit. Banks have to lend. Banks have to lend. If they stop lending, they go out of business. We have a lot bigger issues then. All right. They're still lending. That's the good news. Okay. They're printing out more than ever. And if you live here in America and you have a Social Security card, congratulations. That's your golden ticket. But you got to understand how to be able to talk to these banks. Stop pointing the finger at all these banks and saying, damn it, Wells Fargo, you're the worst of the worst. Chase, don't get me started. Bank of America, I can't even believe that. I'm turning red. No. It's not always them. It's you. It's time to point the thumb at us and realize like, well, I didn't know. I didn't know that there's 45 rules. I didn't realize that underwriting had a checklist that they're going through, but it makes sense, right? It makes sense. The stuff that I'm talking about here is not like rocket science, but it's also not gibberish. It's not BS, but it's not just because it might feel complex. It might feel overwhelming. Doesn't mean that it has to be. Here at Credit Counsel Elite, we've simplified the process. It's up to you to realize, are you done paying somebody else? Are you done of missing opportunities? Are you done realizing we're not promised tomorrow? So if it's up to me, if it's meant to be, it's up to you and me, right? It's like, we got to do this now. All right. So I encourage you, book a call with us. Would be honored to help you out. Follow us on Instagram. It's Credit Counsel Elite. Also on Instagram, Brandon Elliott Investments. Make sure you check out creditcounselelite.com. That's www. We got tons of information, tons of goodies. Also join us every single Thursday. Ask me anything. I would be honored to just geek out with you for an hour and ask anything and answer anything that you got. In addition, make sure you're following us and you hit that subscribe button on Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. Wherever you listen to your podcast episodes, just hit that subscribe button. You'll get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave that 5-star review afterwards. Greatly appreciate all the love. You guys are amazing. I'm excited and stoked to be back. We're going to crush it this year. We're going to finish off strong. We're about halfway through. Let's make the second half of this year incredible. All right. Summer's coming up and it's going to be epic. So I can't wait to see you guys. Do not sleep on this opportunity of the market. Okay. Do not sleep on, what could take place right now. Okay. This is how normal people, you and me, can actually leverage this market. In a confusing market out there, you can actually capitalize off of it. Okay. You can move fast into these opportunities. So anyway, love you guys all so much. Follow us for more. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, God bless, and book a call with us soon. We'll see you soon. God bless. Peace.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.